Undisputed.
Welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft, here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Morning. Hey, guys.
Hi, Jenny.
Ain't got time for you this morning.
So, Mr. Sharp.
I got what?
Your man LeBron last night was the literal GOAT, as in lowercase GOAT, as in the unclutch man who cost the Lakers the basketball game by missing free throws and a three. I just thought I'd throw that out to get us off to a good start. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Get those numbers out there.
That's all you
That
got.
was unnecessary.
That's all you got.
I thought we were talking about the Cowboys.
A lot of people had to go to bed early last night, and I had to update them.
Oh,
how
now
are you, Shannon?
Now you like
there we
updating
go.
people.
Thank you for staying
Thank
up
you.
for us.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that game was incredible.
Whew.
Interesting.
Whew.
Okay,
So was that
LeBron.
trade, Jenny.
We have a lot to get to today, including what Skip mentioned. If LeBron choked, is Eli done?
No.
And John Gruden, does he actually know what he's doing? But we
No.
are going to start with the Cowboys because they had a busy day. They made a huge trade yesterday, acquiring Amari Cooper from the Raiders for a first-round pick. The Cowboys' offense has been criticized all season for their lack of a number one receiver. Cooper is a two-time Pro Bowler, but he only has 22 catches and 1 touchdown this season. Skip, do you like the move?
Jenny, Shannon.
Yep.
After sleeping on this trade, I don't like it. I love this trade for my Dallas Cowboys. That's Amari. We got him. We just got you got it. We just got way better than we were about 24 hours ago. So, did Jerry Jones wildly overpay for Amari Cooper? Yes, he did. I sat right here in this chair last week when we did this topic, speculating on this potential trade, and I said I wouldn't give more than a 4th rounder for Amari Cooper. But then late last night, I see that Michael Silver of NFL.com reported that the Eagles had offered a second for Amari Cooper, and that the Redskins were hot on his trail also. So Lord knows that Howie Roseman of the Eagles has beaten Jerry Jones to the punch repeatedly over the last 2 years. So why not overpay? Why not finally beat the Eagles to the punch? Finally, Jerry Jones actually did something, because we know that for the last year, as I've repeatedly pounded this table about here on Undisputed, he's just rested on his Hall of Fame laurels. So finally, Jerry Jones did what he used to do. He plunged. He sent a message to his locker room. Big time help is on the way, and now let's go win the NFC East, because I'm going to remind everybody, Amari Cooper, once upon a time, was the 4th overall pick in the draft. He made the Pro Bowl his first 2 years in the league. And guess what, boys and girls? He's only 24 years of age. He doesn't turn 25 until June. So he will cost next year $13.9 million.
Which is nothing.
Okay. Well, given what's coming in this next free agent crop of wide receivers, that to me is a bargain when you consider it's Golden Tate and John Brown and Randall Cobb and Chris Hogan. That's it. Right. And when I look at the next year's draft crop, it's okay, but there's nothing special. I'm not saying that guy's going to change your life or that guy's going to change your life, but Amari Cooper could change your life. So you kept him away from Philly, you kept him away from Washington, and Lord only knows that my wide receiver group was in desperate need of a quasi number one receiver, because I got a collection of number 3s, right? Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden, Amari Cooper's going to make Dak Prescott a little better. Yeah. I think he might make Ezekiel Elliott a whole lot better, because at least he poses a threat. At least he ran 4.4 at the combine. So I got a glider with easy, effortless, deep speed. And do you think that Amari might just be re-energized to show John Gruden, prove him wrong for giving up on him so quickly? So I just think that overall, once I woke up this morning, I thought, he overpaid. But who cares? Right. Because my team just got a whole lot better.
Really didn't replace Dez with anything. Jason Witten got a great opportunity to go to Monday Night Football, an offer too good to pass up. You really didn't replace him with anything. So if you think Dak, and Jerry says Dak is more than a bus driver, you need to show people that by giving him someone that he has the confidence in, that I can drop back and throw him the football, and he's going to win more times than not in one-on-one.
To your point, does this increase the pressure and the spotlight on Dak? Yeah, I'll give you that. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Skip, is that what concerns me about Amari Cooper is is that he'll have one game for 14 yards, and then he'll have 10 for $143. He'll have 2 games for a grand total of 30 yards, and then he'll pop up again for 8 for $116.
That's why he's no longer an Oakland Raider. Go ahead.
Which mark, because his first, like you mentioned, his first 2 years he's in the Pro Bowl. Now, some of his inconsistency can be tied directly to Derek Carr, because Derek Carr has not been the same quarterback he was, Skip. You remember, he was in the MVP running.
He was.
He gets hurt late in the season. He's never shown that form again. And this is also what I know about John Gruden. He loves to coach people he doesn't actually have to coach. Now, when he was doing Monday Night Football, Skip, he heaped praise on Amari Cooper. He heaped praise on Khalil Mack. He loved Johnny Manziel. He loved Tim Tebow. Like I said before, being a color analyst is entirely different than being a head coach.
Well, it's not like John didn't know what it was like to be a head coach before he was a color analyst. But go ahead.
No, he loved coaching those guys he didn't have to coach. Oh, I love that guy. That's a guy I can fight with him. He'll win for you. Oh, really? he can win for you. I thought you wanted to coach him. But that's neither here nor there. I love what they do. And as you mentioned, this does add pressure to Dak because he has a true number 1 now. Now, the question is, how soon can he get caught up to speed? And does the change of scenery does him good? Skip, if he was struggling with inconsistency, if you're struggling with that as a player, the last thing you need is a coach that comes in and browbeats you. Son, your depth on the route is not good. Son, you got to make that play. Yada, 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 yada. Instead of building him up, Coach Gruden strikes me as a guy that just rides you and wears you, that grinds you down, as opposed to building you up. And that's the last thing you need when you've lost your confidence. So maybe. Now, also you have to ask yourself, Skip, ask yourself this question. Does Amari Cooper at this point right now have more upside than Josh Gordon? Because you could have had Josh Gordon for a 5th rounder. You could have had Calvin Ridley for a 1st rounder. Because you could have had Calvin Ridley as opposed to the tackling Dutchman. Okay, now the tackling Dutchman did come in good because Sean Lee missed a couple of games. But ask yourself, Calvin Ridley, he sure looks good in Atlanta, Skip.
Okay.
You could have had him. You could have had Earl Thomas for a 2nd. The questions are...
Remember, he bid for Sammy Watkins. I think he finished 2nd in the bidding. Jerry did for Sammy Watkins. Would I rather have Amari over Sammy? I would. I'll take Amari.
Yeah, because Sammy, the thing is, but both of them, what do they suffer with, Skip? Inconsistency.
Okay, but one guy does stay healthy, even though Amari's in concussion protocol right now, but he has stayed big picture healthy, right? Yes. And Sammy is always nicked, right?
Yes.
Okay, so to your point about Amari, why does the intensity and effort come and go? Well, he's the opposite of so many receivers that I have covered and known for the Dallas Cowboys. He is not an alpha. He is more of a follower than a leader. There's no diva in him. I had the pleasure of getting to know him a little bit when he was on a show that I used to do on the other network, and I spent a little time around him. It was at the college football playoffs. It was the first Clemson-Alabama game in Phoenix, and he was there representing his alma mater, obviously, Alabama. He is a really good kid, pretty quiet, bright kid, nice personality. There's no diva to him at all. So he doesn't play with Terrell Owens' rage on the field. He doesn't play with.
He's not very outgoing either, Skip.
There's no Des Bryant reckless abandon to him, like see-ball, I'm going to go up and snatch the ball. He doesn't have that kind of killer mentality to him. He's an effortless glider on the football field. He's a good route runner, a smooth route runner.
Technically sound.
Who can almost effortlessly, with nuance, just run right by you before you know what hits you.
Right.
Because he doesn't look like he's trying very hard or running very fast, but he is fast.
You know what's surprising, though, Skip? Considering that he went to Alabama, and we know Coach Saban coaches his team hard, that maybe that Coach Gruden started to wear on him. Maybe. I find that very hard. When you're used to tough coaching, other tough coaches doesn't bother you. If you played at Alabama, if you notice, Coach Belichick loves getting guys from Alabama. He knows they're coached hard. Now, they do come from a very similar system, especially defensively, a 3-4 defense. That's what Coach Saban's run. But Coach Saban served as the D coordinator under Coach Belichick when he was in Cleveland. And so he knows they've been worked hard. He knows they've been coached hard.
Okay, but what does Amari have in common with Julio Jones? They're both Nick Saban products, but they're both... They're I'm not saying soft, but they're quiet.
Yes.
They're not big, outgoing diva personalities. And I think Coach Saban is at such a high level right now with his recruiting that he can pick and choose who he wants and doesn't want. And he liked those two kids because they're good kids, right?
And maybe, and another thing about it, what makes a coach a good coach is understanding who he's dealing with.
Yep.
He probably not yelling and screaming at a Julio Jones and an Amari Cooper.
I think he left him alone.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like one-play shays. He only needed a couple from him a game, and he left them alone because he coached the defense hard, right?
Yes.
And he was kind of on the quarterback pretty hard because he's a game manager and a bus driver, but he needed one big catch a game from those two guys, a couple of big catches to break the game open. That's all they need.
But we saw Amari as opposed to Julio. I mean, Julio went over 1,000 yards, but Amari Cooper, I think it's last year, he caught like 117, 120 passes because what's the offensive coordinator, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin did a great job of scheming and getting him the football.
He did. I agree.
So this is